We start things off, ladies and gentlemen, the Hoff, Joe Thomas, joining us live on the Fan Hotline. Joe, do you have us?
I got you guys. Can you hear me?
We got him.
It is wonderful to have the great Joe Thomas. Now, hopefully all the people in the building will be able to hear. Maybe we can feed it through the feed or anything like that. But, Joe, it's great to have you with us. I know that you've done some wonderful work with shoes and clothes for your kids throughout the years. First off, thank you. Second of all, how do you think Shedeur is going to do on Sunday?
I think he's going to do a nice job. I think he's going to make significant improvement from what we've seen last week and the stuff that we saw in the preseason, because I think there is going to be a big difference when you've got Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, just building a game plan from a route concept protection and then being able to mesh and marry that to what they're doing with the run game and the play action to feature the things that Shedeur does well, which is throw in the pocket, throw off those little half boots, and to be able to use that accuracy to push the football down the field, which is something that the Browns offense has not been able to do this year.
Joe, there are two hot items in the showcase right here that you either knowingly or unknowingly signed. They have them here, and they look amazing. I posted it on social media. They're not doing the, what do they call it, the auto pen? I think Joe actually signed this.
Yes.
So we appreciate
What's
that,
auto
Joe.
pen?
Oh, we don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
It's in the news.
We'll discuss that at another juncture.
But anyway, we have been debating all week, how much can you truly open up the offense for somebody like Shedeur? We all want to see the splash plays. We all want to see a quarterback that actually throws the ball further than 5 yards down the field. We saw glimpses of that in the second half with Shedeur. At the same time, you've got a head coach, you've got a play caller who probably are going to be a little bit hesitant for him to make the big mistake, the back-breaking mistake. So what do they do? How conservative do they want to get?
Well, I think you have to balance your desire to win the game, which is obviously the number one priority. And in a season when you're fighting for playoffs and fighting for a division win, obviously that's the only priority. But in this situation, you got to have split priorities, right? It's, yeah, we want to win, but also we want to showcase Shedeur and find out what he is and who he is and if he can be the franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns moving forward. And so really, I mean, that's kind of what the season's all about. And so I think they need to open it up a little bit more than maybe they would with a typical rookie quarterback, where they would be maybe a little bit more conservative and let them know, like, hey, mistakes are okay, but here is the things that we really want to see from you. We want to see you hanging in the pocket. We want to see you going through progressions. We want to see you pushing the ball down the field, giving our receivers an opportunity to get back involved in this offense, and just letting them know that, hey, mistakes are okay, throwaways are okay, you can dirt the football, but the things we don't want to see is just continuing to drift in the pocket, taking sacks, doing those bad habits that we saw a lot at Colorado. And so I think the key for them when they're crafting this game plan is he got blitzed relentlessly because he wasn't seeing the blitz, which is understandable, right? He wasn't in practice going through those blitz plays in blitz period and having those meetings where he was the dude seeing everything on the defense. And so I think they need to have really nice, easy answers to be able to check into if you do have a defense that is going to try to heat you up the way the Baltimore Ravens did last week.
The offensive line, you are somebody that was a pioneer of sorts, Joe. It's why you are a Hall of Famer. It's why nobody questioned it, is that it didn't matter who was back there behind you. You were still doing your job. But how hard is it going to be going from somebody like Dylan Gabriel, the way he operates, to somebody like Shedeur, who we went through this with Deshaun Watson? You never knew exactly where he was going to be back there.
Well, it does make it more challenging, but your job stays the same. And I think the challenging side is the frustrating side, where it's like, well, he was supposed to be there, but he wasn't. But you still have to assume he's going to be where he's supposed to be. And then if he leaves the pocket or he drifts further than he's supposed to, or if he's left or right of where his mark is, like, you do your best to try to continue to make the block. And if the guy starts rushing that way, you just try not to let him go over there. But you got to have that toughness to be able to just shake it off and know that, hey, you know what? 80,000 people in the stands think that I screwed up and gave up a sack, but you know what? The quarterback is kind of on him, but you know what? That's okay. I got his back. I'll be able to take the bullet for him. In the end, your offensive line, not only do they have to block for you, but they got to be willing to take the bullets for you in the media. When if somebody says, hey, what happened on that sack? You're not going to throw them under the bus, and you're just going to accept the fact that part of being an offensive lineman is you got to take a little bit of dirt sometimes.
Joe Thomas joining us, the Hoff, right here on the Fan Hotline. We are live at Bomber Sports Cards in Broadview Heights. Come on out here, 203 East Royalton Road, which I never realized when we were on our way over next door to the Mexican restaurant. I didn't realize we were so close, and we've been over here so many times. So getting him comfortable as an offensive lineman, that's one thing. The differences, have you noticed many differences, or you even had the chance to notice many differences, Joe, in the offense of Tommy Rees as far as the offense of Kevin Stefanski? Or is it just like, hey, there's been one game and then all of a sudden it became a fire drill after halftime with Dylan Gabriel out?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit tough to say definitively. There's a lot of differences. But clearly you're starting to see a little bit of that college influence from Tommy Rees, where he does like a little bit more of those boot actions, some more of those RPOs, getting that quarterback on the run. But I think more than anything, that was just him trying to lean into what Dylan Gabriel did, giving him an opportunity to use his legs. And so I don't think we're going to see quite as much of that. And so I think the Shedeur Sanders offense is going to be pretty similar to what Tommy Rees or Kevin Stefanski is going to dial up, where they're going to put their healthy dose of play action in there. But you're going to see a lot of stand in the pocket, throw the football, or try to throw the football down the field. That pro style offense that the Kyle Shanahans that run this type of an offense that's play action based, that's West Coast based. That's kind of the offense that most of the teams in the NFL run these days.
Joe, Myles Garrett said last week that it was Shedeur after the game that went and spoke in the locker room to the team. So talk about like the gravitational pull of a guy like that to come in, play as poorly as he did, and yet still basically point the finger towards himself and then speak in front of the team. What does that tell you about his makeup and about him as a leader?
I think it just reinforces the character that everybody saw when he was playing at Colorado. He's a guy that's a natural leader. He's a magnet. People are drawn to him. They want to follow him. He has an unquestionable mental toughness and ability to shake off bad plays and move on, which is one of the hallmarks of all great quarterbacks. And I think that was one of the reasons the Browns wanted to draft him, right? He's got great leadership skills. People want to follow him. He's got a really good mental toughness. So if a bad play happens, he's not going to let it spiral into another bad play. He's willing to be accountable, and he's very accurate, and he can push the ball down the field, and he's a gamer, right? That, to me, is what I think about when I think of Shedeur Sanders. There's definitely some flaws, obviously, in the game that he needs to work on, and a lot of it because he just hasn't been in a pro-style system before, and he's just getting used to seeing defenses and having to go through progressions and make checks. But that's why you take a flyer on him in the 5th round, because he's got a lot of intangibles that a lot of guys drafted much higher than him don't have. And so you figure that, hey, if we can work on some of these things that we feel are correctable, he's got this incredibly high ceiling where he legitimately could be the franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in the future.
All right. I just kind of whispered to Lima here. I want to ask you about a series of videos you put out about Luke Fickell and about Wisconsin football. If you can speak about that, Joe. You're saying, hey, got to give Luke Fickell more time, got to invest more in the program. It's a different style of college football. A lot of people wanting to fire Luke Fickell. Your thoughts on what's going on up there with the Badgers?
Yeah, I get it. Everything needs deodorant when you're losing, and all the little things that are the tiniest little slights, they come to the surface. They bubble up, right? At Thanksgiving, when everybody's pissed off, you're going to start complaining about the napkins and the turkey that's slightly overcooked and the gravy isn't to your temperature, right? But when everybody's happy, it doesn't matter. And winning makes everybody happy. But right now, obviously, not a lot of winning in Wisconsin, and we're not used to that. And so there's a lot of turmoil. But my plea to the fans was just, hey, we don't really know how good or bad of a coach Luke Fickell is unless we invest in our players and invest in our program so that we have a comparable salary for our players to be able to get the talent that a coach needs to be able to show if he is a good coach or not. And if you don't have that money behind the program, you're not going to ever be able to keep any guys around long enough to be able to even develop them. And I know that's like the big complaint I hear from a lot of Badger fans. It's like, I don't even know any of the guys. They're here for a year and then they're gone. And I know that that's part of today's transfer portal NIL era. But part of that is just because we're not competitive with the amount of money that we're putting into our program. And it's been like that for a long time, but until players were able to get paid a fair salary for their job that they're doing on the field, we haven't really noticed as much. And Luke is the first coach that's had to coach under those auspices. So for us as Badger fans to just be quick to want to fire him and then have to pay him to go away and coach somewhere else, like that's just compounding the problem we have, which is not putting enough money into the people and the coaches that we have there currently. And so let's just be a little bit slow on the trigger finger. I think we're going to look back at this era here in college football, maybe this little window of like about 10 years, and we're going to say, man, NIL and transfer portal made fan bases crazy. And every fan base thought that they were supposed to be a 10 or 12 win team when they weren't realistic about what the expectations and the goals should be. And a lot of good coaches got fired way before they should. And look across the NCAA this year already. I mean, I guarantee some of these coaches at these high profile programs that have recently been fired are going to go somewhere else and have great careers. And the guys that replace them are going to do way worse than the ones that just got fired.
Did you ever think, Joe Thomas, you'd be sitting there begging for money for Wisconsin football players on a podcast in Cleveland?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one. That was not on my bingo card.
Okay, I'll give you another one. Joe. Once and for all, you're going to air your Hall of Fame beef with the Watt brothers. Go.
Oh, my. No, it's the podcast. Yeah. Don't let them do it.
Yeah, this is my Hall of Fame beef. They both told me, DJ, JJ, they've told me they want me to send them some beef. But as of last night, they haven't given me their address. So I'm going to have to just find their house. I know where they live. I grew up down the street from them. They were in Pewaukee. I was in Brookfield. I can go to their parents' house, and I'm just going to have to drop it off there. And then they got to get it before it melts.
It is. It's absolutely fabulous beef. We've had it in the Carmen household. He didn't hear about the Sloppy Joes, did he?
No,
we didn't make them with Sloppy Joes.
I hope not. No, the Lima's feasted.
I'm sorry.
I had the father-in-law over. Guys, Hall of Fame beef.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah,
it's absolutely incredible.
Unpaid testimony.
The beef sticks.
Yes.
Yeah, the beef sticks are amazing. Oh, my gosh.
Teriyaki.
ESPN National this morning. Oh, my goodness. And Smalls was eating some of the apple cheddar beef sticks. And I love seeing people's face light up when they try it for the first time, because it's unlike anything else they've ever experienced as far as beef sticks goes. Because, one, it's all beef. We use a longer fermentation process that's a little bit more expensive, but we can use less preservatives. It keeps a nice snap on the outside. It's got a buttery inside texture with the creaminess of the apple cheddar and the cinnamon flavor that we put in there. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Wagyu beef keeps it buttery from start to finish. And the look on Small's face was like, I knew I had to act like this was good, but this is really good. I have never had something like this. So I'd like to know, Carmen, you're making Sloppy Joes out of Hall of Fame?
No.
Slap in the face, Joe.
So this is what happened. I thought you knew. And then Liz actually was like, you weren't talking about that on the radio. I go, absolutely, we were talking about that on the radio. You ain't supposed to listen to the radio. What had happened is I came downstairs to go. This was 4 weeks ago? It was about a month ago. I came downstairs to go to the station. It was like 4 a.m. and I saw the Wagyu thawing by the sink. And I didn't even think about it. Went to the station, and then she texted something like, we're going to have Sloppy Joes tonight. And I go, she's not using that beef for the Sloppy Joes this year. Liz doesn't know beef. Now, my dad, as many people know, I talked about him on the air, my dad was a meat man for 41 years. Now, Joe, you can tell that these cows are raised as happy cows, and it's an honor to be fed Joe's beef from these very happy cows. And because it's such an honor, I got to stop my wife from putting Wagyu beef in a damn Sloppy Joe, because nothing sets off the taste of Wagyu beef like some manwich. So I had to make sure that she didn't do such a thing. So we got it figured out. We had burgers with it. They were fantastic. We've had some of the other things that you've sent us, Joe. They're absolutely wonderful. And we love that Hall of Fame beef is doing so well right now, and really starting to take stride and doing wonderful things right now. But yeah, you can tell I'm a little bit nervous to talk about the Wagyu beef because I didn't want to offend. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, but I've been hardened on the outside from obviously years as a Browns player, but also Micah Parsons from the Packers. He's a great customer, and he ordered some fillets, full-blood Wagyu fillets, right? These things are not cheap. They're like $80 for a little fillet. And he ordered them, and he was awesome. He posted on social media after he got it, and the video was him showing the fillet off, and he's like, oh, baby, Hall of Fame beef. It's looking good. Can't wait to marinate these things up tonight. And I go, oh, my God. don't marinate. What are we doing
No,
here?
no.
You can go to Costco and get beef if you need to marinate. We do not need to marinate these, buddy. But hey, you know what? It's like with my wife. She likes well done or medium well, which for a while I was very offended. But in the end, hey, if you're buying all-thing beef, you can do whatever you want to it. So if you want to make them sloppy joes or you want to marinate them, hey, if that makes you happy, go ahead. We're just trying to give people happiness here, Carmen.
Well, we couldn't be more thankful for you joining us, Joe. And I don't know if I'm supposed to mention this now. I'll probably mention it at the end because I know you're kind of humble, but you've done some wonderful things with shoes and clothes for kids. So, Joe, we really, really appreciate it. Tony, got anything more for Joe before we let him get the rest of his day?
We appreciate you coming on,
Okay.
and everybody out here is just thrilled, even though they can't hear you.
No, they can.
They can.
They have them up on the TVs now, so they can hear them.
They're absolutely thrilled when they knew you were coming on. So awesome for you, Joe. And we look forward to talking to you again. Hopefully it's about Shedeur starting to pave his own Hall of Fame route. Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm nervous about the situation coming up on Sunday, but I'm hopeful. Just because I'm nervous doesn't mean I'm not hopeful. So, Joe, thank you so much, my friend.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Great work there with Shoes and Clothes for Kids, man. One of the great charity organizations in Cleveland. So thanks, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Joe Thomas, the Hall of Famer, joining us on the Fan Hotline.